all, and welcome back to another thrilling episode of Off the Dome. I'm your humble listener, Jordan Brown. With me, as always, is our resonating writer. Say hi, resonating writer.
Hello.
So I
said
back.
Hello. You said hi, and I said hello.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine. This whole episode's getting scrapped now. We're off to a terrible start.
Off to a hobbling start. Yeah.
I went back to because I was like, God, what did I call him the first time he was on? Like, I want to do that again. And
Right.
I was like, well, I'm not going to go through my notebook to try and find whatever page that was. So I just went and found it on YouTube and hit play.
Oh, okay.
And I was so much slower. The introduction speed has just increased over and over and over again. At some point, it will just be gibberish. It might already be there.
It was pretty close this time. I feel like by this time next year, it's going to be and it'll just be like you'll have to actually slow it down in Logic or something. You'll have to time stretch it to actually hear everything that's said. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Andrew, it's so good to see you. Such a huge fan of everything you do. We're going to talk about 1 year later, but first people are going to eat their vegetables and learn about the other cool projects that you're doing. But a very important question for you right out of the gate. How many fucking podcasts are you on these days?
Just one.
Just one?
Have one. Yeah. It's just the Boyfriend Material podcast. I know it feels like more. And it certainly feels like more to me, but it is only one, surprisingly. I do occasionally guest on people's shows.
Maybe that's
I'm in, I occasionally do voices also on Tales from the Stinky Dragon, former Rooster Teeth's role playing show. And so I'm occasionally on there as voices. But no, just one. Just surprisingly one. We need to up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers. We got to get those.
Yeah.
Get me on your podcast. Yeah.
You can pass for white, so you should be on 50 to 75 podcasts.
I know. I am the Blade of podcast guests. I'm all of their strengths, none of their weaknesses. I'm just I'm the day walker as far as white boy podcaster. Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. Oh man. Well, speaking of though, I will say what I've got very confused, expecting a very special guest when I saw the name of one of Boyfriend Material's episodes, which was Let the Reich One In, and I assumed it was Let the Reich One In and Sam Reich was going to be on us. And then I started listening to it and I was like, ooh no, I know what this red flag is going to be. It's going to be very, very different.
It's going to be very bad. Ooh, so bad. Real bait and switch there.
Only for people like me. I think most people see that word and assume the other way.
Very true. That was a bait and switch for a vanishingly small amount of people, perhaps. but it's so funny. When they started reading the question or started reading the response. For Down Bad, I was like, oh my gosh, I know where this is going, and yet I can't look away. I simply can't. This is a train wreck, a slow motion train wreck. I simply have to keep watching. And it did not disappoint. What a nightmare.
Oh God.
Yes, but thank you for listening. It's one of my favorite little episodes.
It's delightful. For folks who don't know, can you give us the log line for Boyfriend Material?
Oh, yes. Boyfriend Material is a podcast that I co-host with my very funny comedy friends, Armando Torres and Kayla Milton. And it is a relationship podcast guaranteed to ruin your relationship. Basically, people write in with questions that they're dealing with, and relationship problems that they're dealing with. And we take their questions, barely answer them, but use them as springboards to riff for about 30 minutes a piece for 2 questions an episode. And it's very comedy forward. It's comedy first podcast. But then sometimes occasionally I think we actually do give good advice. That is just few and far between.
You stumble into it sometimes.
Exactly. We're real, blind pigs in a truffle. We'll occasionally be rooting around, and I was like, actually, I think that's actionable advice that someone could take to improve their life and their relationship. But that is mostly found through riff and bits, and then we eventually get to the good advice. So it's just a fun comedy relationship podcast. It's a blast.
It's very delightful. Also then periodically on the feed you'll get it's Down Bad, right? Is the Patreon exclusive teaser of you watching like someone building a sex dungeon.
Right. Yes. So yes, we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/midnightsnacktv, where yes, the Patreon bonus episodes are it's a kind of our R&D department. So we do sort of different themed episodes on our Patreon. There's kind of like a rolling, recurring like segment. So there's the Down Bad Files. That'll be a series. That's like a series on our Patreon. We have also like kind of a like watch along recap, which was that one, which is How to Build a Sex Dungeon, where Griff made me watch an episode of one of the most upsetting shows I've ever seen. And yeah, and so it's just that our Patreon is a place to sort of test out different formats and do different stuff that's not necessarily relationship related, but it's just we also had our Fuckboy of the Week is an episode is a format that we have on our Patreon. That's a lot of fun. Yeah.
This is why I think you're on more than one podcast. This is what's causing me the confusion.
There you
Midnight
go.
Snack in its umbrella of shows.
That's exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah, I will say, if folks haven't listened, I think How to Build a Sex Dungeon is a great starting off point to just be like, will I enjoy this entire podcast? Because it's so upsetting from moment one of the episode. Of just
Yeah.
it's like the moment, like you don't, before you're even describing what the show actually is, of just like,
Yeah.
it's so horrible.
Yeah, it's so horrible. So yeah, this past week's episode. This is I don't know when this comes out, but
Who knows?
Who knows? But our most recent episode, the How to Build a Sex Dungeon episode is actually a Patreon preview of sort of our Patreon content. So it's a little bit of an unusual episode. It's a little bit shorter. It's like 30 minutes. Our normal episodes are about an hour and some change. But it's a really good primer for, it's like, if you like the humor that's involved in this little like 30-minute nugget, you'll probably like the podcast. So yeah, it's a good like dip your toes in the water to see if this is for you, because I mean having re-uploaded it to the main feed, I was like listening to a bit of it, quality control, and I was like, oh man, we are coming fast and furious with the puns in this one. Like it is a lot of filthy punnery. So if that's kind of your thing, then
inspired by the show, of like, it's just like it sent you down that lane. I'm breathing.
Sure
I'm not coming. I'm just breathing hard. Like it's the show set you up for it. I'll also say, listening to that episode, I tried to go to Armando's website on my work computer, which feels like a catastrophic error, because it is diddle dicks or cocks and dicks.
So we really love to commit to a bit over at Midnight Snack headquarters, at One Midnight Snack Way, and yeah, so we bought the domain bigolcocksanddicks.com for I think like $12 for 3 years, and it automatically redirects to our Patreon, because we were like, what's the thing that should be like a porn redirect that isn't taken? Because I think that was like, it was just like every porn thing has to be taken, like every porn URL has to be taken already. And so we were like basically just like riffing, like, okay, like, is this taken? Oh, it's already taken. Is this taken? It's like, what about big ol' cocks and dicks? It's free. Buy it. And so that's how we got that, and it redirects to our Patreon. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely amazing.
And is unsearchable at work. You just you simply can't. You're gonna get a letter from HR.
I started typing it in, and I was like, I think I should stop. I got halfway through, and I was like, this is my work computer. This can't be a thing. I don't think they track what I do, but this will be how I find out.
Yeah, this is really the test, honestly. To see how good your company firewall is.
Oh, so much fun. Yeah, I live in Hutto now. I don't know if you know that or not. It doesn't particularly matter. Anyway, someone the other day asked me like why they're the Hutto hippos. And so like I made this whole video about how in 1915 a hippo got loose, except it didn't. It's just this made up story. And someone was like, so your entire town is just committed to the bit? And I'm like, yeah, No, you are correct. Someone made up a story, and the town has gone nuts about it. Like, the city council passed a resolution that new schools that are built here have to have a hippo mascot. They're not allowed to have anything else.
Right. I mean, truly, this is the Simpsons episode with Armin Tanzarian, where everyone just agrees that Principal Skinner is Principal Skinner. It's a complete
Yep.
lie and fabrication that everyone
Yeah.
just goes, collectively goes, we choose to believe this.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's and in this, a mass delusion that hurts no one, a
There's no one.
victimless crime.
It just means we have hippo statues everywhere. It's delightful. Well, who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want that? Well, it's funny because like hippos, one of the most dangerous, ferocious creatures on the planet, responsible for more deaths in its natural habitat than any of the other like super predators in that super predators. Wait, hold on a second. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, that's what Hillary Clinton talked about in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. When they were introducing the crime bill.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. So, no, yeah, the hippos are more deadly than all like the other like apex predators. That's what I was trying to say. Apex predators in that area by like a wide margin. It's like, oh, lions kill 7 people a year, and then it's like hippos kill 59 people in that same amount of time. It's like Jesus.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like they're cute and cuddly until they smash your head like a watermelon. We've all seen those videos.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Statues, very safe. They're very safe to have as statues.
Very safe to have. Famously safe statues. Nothing. Until the mayor was accidentally crushed by a falling hippo statue that was installed improperly. So, yeah.
I mean, we do have at least 2 hippo cars that I have seen, which means at some point, in theory, someone is going to get hit by a hippo car.
Yeah. Will that count is on the statistics of hippo deaths? Will we put that up there?
Know. Yeah.
I think we should.
Do I get right into National Geographic and be like, hey, a hippo car hit someone here in Otto, Texas. Does this count?
Does this count? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Boyfriend Material, absolutely fantastic. Your other huge new project that's happening right now, you're an artiste, a major, talented, super amazing. Yes, the paintbrush and all.
Pulled brush from out of nowhere, from just off camera. No, I started painting over the pandemic. There was a huge, some people did sourdough starters. I was like, no, I'm going to try to, put brush to canvas. And just try it. I never done, fine art in any way really, and really fell in love with it, really took to it. And so, yeah, I've just been sort of kind of casually practicing that and getting better over the last like several years. And I started a new art channel on Instagram, andrewrosas.art. Go follow me there, please. Because I'm putting more energy into the practice, into fine art, doing more like art content and stuff like that, more sort of like videos and stuff, because I really, really like it, and it's just a real source of creative inspiration for me. So yeah, that's like brand new. I started that just like a couple weeks ago. So it's been really great.
And I think you do pet portraits. I know people can like commission you for a pet portrait. I assume other things as well. The pet portraits are the things that always catch my eye because I'm like, pets. Also, I know multiple people personally who have gotten you to do commissions for pets.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
It might be why it's the most forefront for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do commissions of all kinds. 95% of them are pet portraits, which I love. I love doing pet portrait commissions, which again started like during the pandemic as kind of a hobby. And I think the people in question that you personally know, that we both personally know, that were the first people to commission me for portrait. They're just like, hey, do you think you could do this? And I was like, yeah, I think I could. I'll give it a shot. I think I could do that. And lo and behold, many years later, still doing it and doing more and more. But occasionally we'll get a commission for something else, such as a landscape, which also happens. Some people have me paint like a house. I like not not go in and paint their house, but paint a picture of their house.
My fence needs a new paint job. If you could swing by.
Hey, Rembrandt, get over here. Start painting that cedar. It needs to be cedar.
It's gonna take you a while with that tiny brush, but
Yeah, exactly. Just really, I mean, I'm Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to be a master by the end of the time I finish that fence with this thing.
You paint
Yeah,
houses, but not like that.
but not like that. Exactly. And then actually I got maybe one of my favorite, most unique commission requests was not too long ago, I guess it was a couple of months ago, was for a landscape, but that included a character whose name I will forget, a character from, or a creature rather, from Neon Genesis Evangelion, just in the landscape somewhere. It was this giant like octahedron like character. I think it's like an angel in the lore of the show, but just to be like sort of floating in the landscape somewhere. And I was like, yep, I can do that. That sounds pretty cool. So yeah, I did that, and so that pretty unique commission request, but it was a lot of fun.
That's super fun. Now, why
Yeah.
should people commission you when they could just put this into an AI art generator and get it for free?
Jordan, that's a great question. And
What if I
why
just uploaded all of your art into an AI program and stole it?
how do
Thoughts?
you thoughts? I maybe just don't go starting your car anytime soon after that. I mean, accidents happen all the time, Jordan. No, I mean, I would submit to you that why would you go to a computer for an image that drinks like, I don't know, 50 gallons of water for every image when you could commission me who drinks no water at all. I'm so dehydrated. It's soda only. So yeah, no, it's yeah, honestly, that was part of the reason why I wanted to start this art channel. Is it's become more and more important now, having just my eyes awash in like the worst images I've ever seen, just like AI slop. I'm just so inundated with AI slop constantly, and it's getting worse. Like, we were like, there was the promise that it would be getting better, but it's just sampling itself now, and it's just so offensive to the eye that, like, I was like, just the practice and concept of doing like real physical, like created by a human art has become more and more important to me than ever now. And so that's was part of the impetus for starting this channel and dedicating more energy to this, because one of the most unique, this is my soapbox moment, thank you, Jordan. One of the most precious, unique human experiences is the creative process, and turning our human perspectives into art. Why in God's name would we outsource one of the most unique human experiences to a computer? That is like, it's like, thank God this computer can make art so I can get busy, go back to what I was supposed to do, writing emails. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. We have it absolutely backwards. So yeah, that's part of the reason I really wanted to start focusing more on art.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just, you know what also sucks about AI art is
Yeah.
it's so bad
Yeah.
that when people see just regular bad art now, they're like AI, and I'm like, no, some people are just bad at art. Like,
Yeah, it's really blurred the lines there. We're
yeah,
having
yeah,
trouble distinguishing.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. It's very funny.
Oh my gosh. All right. You mentioned sourdough starters. What a great transition to 1 year later, the grossest
Yes.
sourdough starter that's ever existed from Lou Wilson.
Woo!
I know I should say you wrote on, I know at least 1 year later, I think you wrote on Game Changer season 6 as well. Uh,
Yes, I believe it's honestly what's really funny about writing for Game Changer is that you will submit like ideas and pitches and segments and stuff, and then see them, like, in this very literal case, a year later. And so it's
yeah.
like, whoa, it like blows your mind. So like, yeah, I believe I have written on the last three seasons of Game Changer since
Okay.
season 5 or 6 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in 7 now.
And
Um,
7.
uh,
Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah, maybe 4 since season 4. I'm
okay.
not 100% sure. But anyway, yes.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yes, yeah. All right, so this is fascinating to me. I just like writing for Game Changer generally is fascinating because like
Mhm.
it's it seems so difficult. It like in the just like conceptually of like, all right, we need how can we make Brennan Lee Mulligan eat a pound of cheese? Like, how do we what is the thing that we can do? And then but narratively, we want it structured so that he continues to eat more cheese.
Right, exactly. There's some element of, well, in the case of Brennan, it is so funny how, I mean, in the most sort of like playfully nemesis sort of way, Sam does enjoy torturing Brennan. And again, it's by design. Like this is the Batman Joker of this whole thing. Like they need each other in this way to fuel, because it's just it's, I mean, it's damn good TV. And yeah, so in instances like that, like you say, like eat a pound of cheese, it's like okay, well, we want the reverse engineer of, okay, we want Brennan to eat a pound of cheese. Start there, work backwards. Like, how do we
Yeah.
sort of reverse it? How do we get there? And then other cases, it's working top down. So you know, it's a fascinating beast, and a really interesting show to write for and to conceptualize for, because it is, I mean, very honestly, it's difficult. It's, I mean, the kind of show that it is, that has to literally change every time, just means that like you're sort of shuffled down narrower hallways conceptually. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the fun challenge.
Yeah, for for something like 1 year later,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what when when they tell you like, hey, we need some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
can you write do they give you I mean, they have to give you the premise of because obviously it couldn't just be like, hey, write up some prompts that people could do, because it has to be write up some prompts people could do over the course of a year. How much of the concept of the show are you involved? How much do you know prior to that? How much of it is just like, could you write us some prompts that could be a silly thing that people do?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure with 1 year later, like sort of the concept was, or the overall concept of like here, like come up with some challenges that like will take 1 year to perform, or at the very least something simple that stretched over that amount of time is just inherently hilarious. And so, you know, it gives the, you know, approaching it from that way sort of like lets your mind wander in interesting ways of how to, you know, make the improvisers kind of step out of just doing something in studio, which is like something that's relatively new for Game Changer and for Dropout, is like going outside the studio, which is really cool. But yeah, so I'm sort of given, or I was given sort of the broad umbrella, and then sort of worked within that rubric to come up with like, yeah, interesting stuff that could take place over a year, whether it be, you know, small to big or big to small, sort of. Yeah.
Any what I mean, I don't know what did you write that made it onto the show, I should say.
Sure, yeah. The most remote location, which by the way, I am team Jacob Wysocki. I want to be very clear. Jacob, you're a hero and you did it correctly. Down that mine shaft, I personally still quote the there are no denizens under the earth, my dude. Politely, like that that line read of Jacob's, it echoes in my brain when I shuffle off this mortal coil and the DMT hits. That will be the last thing that echoes through my brain. But no, I because I agree completely with him that like, yeah, Antarctica, wild, very impressive, very impressive. Pulling the strings, the connections that have to be made to get something to Antarctica, no small feat. But there are weirdly a lot of people in Antarctica. There's like that is a remote location, but there are like bases and scientists and a bunch of folks out there. Whereas I feel like Jacob truly rose to the challenge and got that standee to the furthest from human beings you could get. So yeah, the most remote location with the standee. I think I pitched who can get a photo of themselves in the most remote location. And then I believe the producer, either Sam or the producers there, were like, how about a standee of, like, they added like, how about a standee of Sam to like take and then leave, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
um like a boot print, like the boot print on the moon. Like how we can just leave this in the earth for someone's flashlight to hove over years from now and be scared out of their minds. And he truly has been here the whole time, um, in the center of the earth. So yeah, that was definitely one of them. And convincing magic trick, I believe, was another. Which again, Jacob, incredible. The
Yeah.
mentalist magic trick element was, compliments the chef, fantastic. And then I believe the other one was who can get the most followers on SoundCloud. Now, I pitched most followers on a brand new Instagram account, to start a brand new Instagram account, and they came back with, how about SoundCloud, which was honestly masterstroke. Good for them. That was the
Yeah.
right way to do it, because you could have started an Instagram account for anything, like I just did, andrewrosas.art. But incredible plug. And because it could have been anything, but I think the way I pitched it was like, but can't trade on your like celebrity. Like you have to start it, and it has to be something completely original. But just like the SoundCloud account was such a masterstroke. That's so
Yeah.
funny. And they really did. So I mean, it was amazing. Amazing. They
I
started a band got started. It's insane.
Paralubis absolutely breaks my brain. I mean, assume that means you at least were one of the people in the world who saw Lou Wilson promoting Paralubis like a lunatic, and you're like, I know what's happening.
I know what's Yeah.
Yeah, because most of us were like, what is this? Why SoundCloud?
That, I mean, absolutely. And that is one of the things that's so fascinating, is and so funny, and honestly just impressively creative with the whole team at Dropout, is that now that the games are starting to sort of extend beyond the bounds of the bounds of the studio and of time constraints and stuff like that, you're starting to see sort of game changer reach out into the real world and like be involved in people's sort of like lives and the stuff that they're doing, and creates that kind of like, what the hell is going on, and then you're like, that's got to be something involved in that world, which I think is so cool and so amazing, and very unique in that space, and just in sort of the in the sort of show concepts, I think is so fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, like, I've obviously talked to a billion people at like Game Changer, Dropout, whatever, and
Mhm.
almost everyone who works, talent who works for Dropout, is like, every time I go to the studio, I am wondering if it is a secret Game Changer. Like Vic told me that like when they started VIP, they're like, I was convinced it was a secret Game Changer, and it was all a bit. And I was like, and after 1 year later, I was like, oh no, this is all of us now. All of the fans have to be like, is this a secret Game Changer? That I
No,
like, is this merch drop now a secret Game Changer? Like,
that's exactly, so you're absolutely right. Like I feel like we're now in, like, we've sort of like broken the bonds of meta game show, where people, now you're absolutely right, like the fans are now being involved, like getting involved in this very eventized, very very high concept show that like it's evolving, so you don't know, like, yeah, is this merch drop part, which it was, which is like, who can get, like, who could sell the
yeah,
most merch, is like, that's part of a game changer, which directly and indirectly involves fans, and it's so amazing. And yes, and absolutely, as a, like, I can only imagine that every time Dropout talent is asked for anything, it's just like, am I going to get a pie in the face? Like, it feels like Pie
yeah,
Hell, which is a Japanese
yeah,
game show where everyone just unexpectedly get hit with a pie. I feel like it was the same thing. It's like, you never know what to expect, and anything could be a secret game changer. You don't know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I say, like, I was so excited about the Sam pin and the potential, like the golden ticket pin. I was so excited about. I made a video about it, and someone like mentioned like, hey, you made the video about that, and I was like, oh yeah, I did. And I went back and found the video, and in the video I talked about the Lou doll and the Jacob shirt, and I was like, they got me. I made
Yep.
a whole promotional video for a Game Changer episode I didn't know I was a part of.
Yep.
Like, oh man,
They're
it was
getting. I
also
mean, they're.
so yeah.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, like that's. I mean, shout out to the brilliance of that. They're like, in it, the unknowingly recruiting street team to like
Yeah,
promote the shows and to like help it propagate. It's wild. Yeah.
yeah. So like, it's also very funny how many posts I saw about how weird it was to have Lou's hair in the like included with the doll, and they're like, "Why are they doing this? It's such a weird parasocial thing." And I was like, "It is pretty weird, but I mean, whatever." And then obviously, like we see the episode, I'm like, "Oh, got it."
Right. Yes. No. I mean, I feel like with so many things with Game Changer now, it's like, or I say Game Changer, which kind of drop out in at large. That I mean, anything you sort of see in like in the wild or involving like people who are like core sort of dropout talent is, like you said, like a potential to be a game changer, but also like I feel like they're really good about not having sort of loose ends, in the sense that like this is by design and that things will be revealed in the by and by. Like you'd be like, why are they like, that's such a weird parasocial, like there is a reason by, like there it is thought about, it is considered, it is by design, and I think that's what's so elegant and beautiful about the whole operation.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. I will say also, speaking of the standees, I did see someone post a very funny thing about how, like, years in the future, post-apocalypse, someone is going to go down to that mine shaft looking for supplies and find a Sam Reich cut out there. And I was like, that is a very funny concept that will just exist forever.
Yeah, no, exactly. After cities have been razed to the ground, like new species of flora and fauna are existing. Just before the sun goes a red giant and envelops
Yeah.
the earth, Sam Reich's standee will be there in the depths of the earth, preserved.
Yes. In what I think we all agree, the most remote location.
I will die on that hill with Jacob.
Yeah.
I firmly believe he actually won that game.
Yeah. Oh man, and that really that may have cost him the what was the prize, the you got a treasury bond that's good in a decade from now. What a hysterical prize.
Yeah.
Oh man, last time we talked, you had written on "Make Some Noise," and you
Yes.
were about to start. You had I think submitted a packet for the next season of Make Some Noise, and one of the things that had changed was now you could like have a called shot of like, I think this person would be good for this prompt.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and then obviously there were like 50 episodes of Make Some Noise.
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing that's never going to happen again. I have a strong suspicion that they were like, this was too many. Um,
Yeah, we
Not
might
that
have.
I didn't enjoy bi-weekly Make Some Noise for a year, but yeah,
No, absolutely. I mean, like, this. I mean, if the truly, like, what a joy, what a treat. But yes, quite a few episodes indeed.
yeah. Any prompts that you were really proud of that hit? Is this where you open a document on your
This is where I
computer
gotta
and
open a
start
doc.
searching? Yep.
Yeah, because I thought we were gonna talk about Game Changer. But
Like
and
we're
so I was like, let me review the stuff that I wrote. But I mean, my God, again over a year ago since
yeah. It's
so give me 1 second and I will pull up.
usually for you. It's anytime there is an old timey prompt that triggers my "Did Andrew write this?" brain.
Jordan, you've got me pegged. Yeah, if there's something involving, yeah, like an old prospector, some sort of like old timey character, I really gravitate to that. And then also, I think we talked about it last time we sort of talked about Game Changer, but like any way to subvert sort of tropes, and flip a concept on its head, I like really like. And there was some from this past season that I didn't write, but I was just like, oh my gosh, that is so, it's one of those things where you're like, Should have been mine. That was so good. That's exactly how my brain works. That's what I wanted to see. You son of a bitch. You got me. Yeah, no, there's so many examples of that. And like I'm trying to see like ones I'm looking at. Oh wait, this might be for this next. I pulled up a document and these might be for this next season.
For the next season.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Um but anyhow, no, it's that one, writing for Make Some Noise is interesting in that same sort of way, is that like, you're trying not to like telegraph the joke. You know what I mean? That's one of the hardest like things is like for like a prompt is you want to basically tell half the joke and let the improvisers sort of explore that space and take that in like a fun in a fun way. Because like sometimes you'll write, sometimes in my brainstorming session I'll write, and I have like a notes app that like I'll be out and about and just be like, just like something will just like hit my brain weird, or like I'll be just something, and I'll like just like type down a noise, like, oh, that'd be a fun make some noise prompt, and I'll like type it down, and then sometimes I'll go back and review those and go, no, that's the joke. It's just one. It's the joke. It's in the joke is in the prompt, and I'll just be like, I'll just send that to the bin. Because yeah, it's sort of like it ends there. You know what I mean? Like it'll feel sort of one note because it sort of begins and ends there as just like the prompt is the joke. Um, so yeah, that's the fun part, and the challenge of Make Some Noise is finding a space and a character or a scene that is fun to that the performers can play in, that they can like lean into and find their strength in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you always want to find your explain soaking moment. One of my favorite prompts of the last year.
Very good. Yeah.
Oh god, only good. Not only made better by the fact that one person knew what it was and two people didn't. Truly magical.
Honestly, though, that's such a great example of like the really leaning into surprise, like the surprise of something, like when when a player, I say a player, they are players. When an improviser is like not in on something, or they're like not, they truly are ignorant of like whatever the prompt is, or the game is, seeing them like still like move around in that space and still try to play is so, it's just a whole different kind of funny, and still different
Yeah.
kind of like, and almost a second game happens within the game, and that's so cool and so fun to see.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much fun. All right, fine. We won't talk about more Make Some Noise. Next
Okay.
time, I'll tell you if I'm going to ask you about Make Some Noise. We can talk
Sure.
more about Game Changer.
Okay.
All right. Last season. Because I guess I should have because obviously you've got stuff presumably coming up still this season that you can't talk about yet because we don't know what the episodes are yet. But anything like obviously like there was a lot. Like I went and I wrote down all the episodes. I'm assuming things like Beat the Buzzer probably not something that they reach out for. Right, it's because so much of it is we have to build it in house, like that kind of thing. But things like Sam Says 3 do feel like a prompt, like a prompt machine of like send that bad boy to the writers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the same, and those are, I did write for Sam Says 3, and that again another great example of like a thing that needs to get like more elegant in its simplicity, because you sort of exhaust avenues to make that like high concept, and you need to start to kind of go back to like making it like the simplest mechanic in the most like fun way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
and yeah, and that is one that like they reach out to us for to come up with for Sam Says, because I mean what what a treat. But also like I don't know why Sam Says to me is so harrowing. Like that one's the one that I like go back and watch, and I'm like, I'm getting like secondhand anxiety watching this.
Yeah, well, it's because things happen like you like it's like Sambo says, and you're like you hear it, and you know that like Vic didn't, and you're like, no,
No.
stop. He said salmon says no, Vic, no, and you're just like it's so stressful. Just like you want them to do good, because you know. I mean, obviously, we've all seen the picture of them just devastated after
Yeah,
the
just
game.
oh.
Yeah. And you're just like, you know, it's coming that like they're going to be ruined by just the simplest miss of a prompt.
Yeah, no, like it's it's like watching. I mean, it is there's an element of it that's like watching someone like walk a tightrope, and it's like they can't necessarily, they can't see how high up they are, but you can, and so you get this like like anxiety for them to like, again, you like, yeah, they miss something and like you heard it and you don't. Oh yeah, it's nerve wracking. um but yeah, like I think for that one, it's a way like the interesting stuff, the interesting way Sam Says has sort of evolved is getting like getting prompts and stuff that involve all three people at the same time, that's less individualized and does like kind of like has the players sort of work either in concert or in discord with each other to create, again, the chaos that is that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so much fun. Yeah, it's also really like I mean, I think Escape the Green Room is still my favorite episode, but like
I mean,
1 year later is it 1 year later is definitely a close second because Sam Says 3 was a close second. And then like Sam Says 3 was so good I had to go back and rewatch Escape the Green Room because it's like, was that better than my favorite episode of this show? And then like I went and back and I was like, no, I'm still Escape the Green Room, but I haven't gone back to watch it since 1 year later, which is just such a goddamn masterpiece of television.
it's escaped. I mean, like I think for my money, when I watched 1 year later, I truly was like, I think this is the best thing. I think this is the best Game Changer episode that there has ever been. Like,
Yeah,
it's way up there. It's definitely on the Mount Rushmore. It's definitely in top four, easy.
yeah,
Because I was so awed by it, because like it on one thing, some game changer episodes are just like pure fun and pure like madness, and you're just like seeing, or pure torture, like you're seeing people like really be tortured, like yes or no, like one of the best episodes of that show ever, and again, one of the simplest. It's like this most simple thing is Brennan cannot win. That's
yeah,
the rule. It's one of the simplest ones, and its whole premise is to torture a very type A person who really wants to be good at a game and be good at the game, to be able to prepare and like use their skills, and then just have that all go like, the rule is that they can't be, and that's like, again, so elegant in its simplicity, and built around torturing someone. um and then in the 1 year later, as funny as it was, and as like, um as funny as it was, as great as the improvisers were, and as great as Sam was at like orchestrating the whole thing, like I was laughing as much as, and I even like it's stuff that like I helped come up with, like I was still awed by it, and I think that is something that is sort of kind of become, or and kind of will become, sort of Game Changers um identity, is this thing that still is able to wow people with not only the talent, but like the concepts that come up, and so it's much more like, it's much more of an event, and this one felt like really usher it. 1 year later really felt like the kickoff to this like bigger, grander Game Changer like era.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I talked to Jazzy Collins, casting director,
Oh yeah.
and she casted 300 people for Game Changer this season, and that doesn't include any of the comedians. And it's like that's so many. Even if you're counting the 100-person audience for the live episode as 100 people, there's still 200 more people that you cast. That's crazy.
No, truly. And again, and it makes you, as I would say, like, makes, one as a talent person be like, is my family in on this? Like, you was like, can I trust anyone? There's like
yeah,
if 200 people are left, is like, is anyone I meet day to day part of this charade? Like,
yeah,
or a charade if you're nasty? Like, if is there like, can I believe anything in my life now?
right.
It really feels like David Fincher's The Game. Truly, like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny because like 1 year later, then like I mean, obviously answered a bunch of questions like Paralubus, that kind of thing, but also
Mhm.
answered the Thousandaires question of I was like, how did Vic get their sister to Los Angeles and produce this play for under $1,000? That doesn't make sense. And then you learn like Vic did this other project for 1 year later that had like funding into it. I'm like, oh, now I've pieced it together. This is where this I've followed the money. It's it's just so wild to see how many things over the last year. I'm like, oh, this was all an extended bit.
Yeah,
And
truly. Yeah,
oh, good.
and to also see, like, you know it is sort of wild to see, it really is those like stacks of like domino, or the stacks of increasingly larger foam, this like little domino effect that has like, you come up with a prompt that's like, get the most followers on a, it's Instagram but then turned into SoundCloud account. You like pitch this idea that then inadvertently like turns into like a plane flight to Antarctica. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that's insane. Or becomes like a fully produced play with someone's relative. It's just like, it's so wild, the sort of knock on effects that like that I would say like everyone who concepts for or who writes for Game Changer sort of has is inadvertently responsible for, or like these things that just sort of kick off these kind of unimaginably bigger events that you can't even imagine. And that's a
yeah.
perfect example, is the
I
play. Like,
mean,
wild.
people posted pictures of Lou's car, not knowing it was Lou's car on the internet. And
Yes.
they're just like, look at this lunatic who has
Yes.
a Joker car. Its license plate is I'm the Joker, baby. And then to find out it was Lou's car is, it's, I don't even have there are no
No,
words for that.
no,
Like,
I was cackling
yeah,
watching like that. What the, I'm the Joker, baby. Like, I like it. I could not keep it together. Incredible stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's like that was like, that stuff was on the internet before like people could even imagine what it might be. Like,
yeah.
it's incredible. Really, really wild stuff.
Oh man, and I'm sure it's just gonna. I shouldn't say it's gonna get better because it may have peaked at episode 1, but it's gonna be great. I'm sure for the
Yeah.
rest of the season. I can't wait to see what other like wild out of the studio things we get to see because yeah, like they people have talked publicly about like how much out of the studio stuff we're getting this season, as well as Sam has said. I believe that he doesn't think he can ratchet up the intensity or he would go to jail. So I'm excited for whatever the rest of the season is.
Yeah, no, there is, I mean, there is a ceiling, and I think it's the law. But I
Yeah.
mean, who's to say? I mean, I mean, maybe they've probably got some fantastic attorneys over at Dropout Studios. But I don't know. Yeah, I'd like, we'll see what happens. I think, just like the nature sort of Game Changer, and where it sort of goes. I don't think I honestly, I don't think it's peaked with the first episode. I think that is the like indication of the era of Game Changer that we're entering, where things can sort of go more sort of far afield, or the resources are available to do different types of sort of mechanics for a game. And I think that's what we're sort of in for, without like sort of giving too much away, or um, you know I think we're gonna start seeing, just like more ways in which the improvisers are allowed to deliver on the promise of the premise, and I think that's just, I mean, it's gonna be fun and amazing, and also in a beautiful way. Like, it's like, truly, like, take a simple mechanic or premise or concept, and take, like, that's just like that you could pitch almost in like one sentence, and then, like, almost like a sketch, like, take that and then just take it to its like extreme logical conclusion. Like, how do we ratchet this up to make this, something that's both funny and hilarious, but that you just simply can't look away. Yeah.
A perfect description of Game Changer.
Yeah.
Funny, hilarious, and you can't look away. All right. Look, we're coming up on the hour. A real dumb question for you at the end, because you know who I am. If you got to go present on Smarty Pants, what would your presentation be?
Okay.
I know you've thought about it.
Of course I have, Jordan. Of course I have. I have two ideas. One's very conceptual. One's very esoteric and very silly. But I don't want to, because there's a chance I might be on the show.
That is true. Yes. All right.
So I don't. I'll go. One is very, I have two ideas, and one is very sort of hip and has to do a lot with sort of, in the Mike Trapp vein, very sort of about like kind of vernacular. It's very literate. It's very like sort of linguistic based, and very, I would say, has to do with sort of modern parlance. I don't think I'm giving away too much with that. And the other one is the other idea I have is very bizarre and conceptual, and like, I don't even know if it'll work. It's just one of those things that, like, I think it might, but it's kind of a meta approach to the whole to the Smarty Pants. I'd love to do Smarty Pants, because that would be truly a treat. And either one of the things, I've pitched both ideas to Kayla and Mondo from Boyfriend Material, and they both were like, yeah, please do either. So I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I love it. All right. Well, when that happens, people can come back to this interview and be like, "Oh, it was this one."
And I think it'll be very obvious if they come back to this and go, "I know exactly which one we got out of those two." Yeah.
All right. So we'll speak of that. Perfect. And then Boyfriend Material. Everybody go subscribe on all the various podcatchers. Find it on on Patreon by going to Big Old Dicks. Sorry, Big Old Cocks and Dicks, or Big Old Dicks and Cocks?
Very good question. Big Old CocksandDicks.com.
Okay.
.com. We got the .com. How amazing is that?
Thank goodness. And then Andrew Rosas.art on Instagram. All the most important things. I think
Absolutely.
we did it. What if people wanted just like your regular Instagram that's not art? They should do that too.
Sure, do that one as well. That's just andrewrosas.ig. I'm just doing the dot, like, we're now just like collecting andrewrosas dot whatever. So andrewrosas.ig is my personal Instagram account. andrewrosas.art is where my art account is. So, yep, that's me.
Are you on Blue Sky yet? Is that a place that you're hanging out?
I am on Blue Sky, but I rarely post there, because I posted there a lot in the beginning, but then it became very apparent that, like, it's not the place for jokes. Like, people don't get jokes on Blue Sky. It's a very I wouldn't say uncynical place, but it's a very, like, what's the word? And humorless is not the right word either, but it's somewhere in between. It's somewhere in between there. Like, I've seen funny stuff on there, from others saying. It's just like, also, I'm trying to minimize, in the age we live in, Jordan, I'm trying to minimize the my exposure to the horrors TM on a daily basis, and pointing a fire hose of bad news at my face every day is a little rough. So yeah, I minimize my activity on aggregate sites like Blue Sky and Twitter, but I am there.
We are recording this on day 100 of the Trump presidency, so it is fire hose o'clock.
Yeah. No, boy. How many days left to go? Don't want to. I can't even look at the counter.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, on that bright note. Andrew, thank you so much. I don't know how to end an interview. I'm just going to stop recording.